Microphone check. The fan is on. I'm cooling off. I just walked home. I just walked a great distance, and I want to rant. I have a rant that I want to share with you all.
You're at 109 right now.
So let's begin with on my way home, on my walk home. I didn't have to, but I decided. I chose to walk home. All right. So, all right. I'm going to share the details. So I dropped my car off at the Toyota dealership. All right. I dropped it off, and Toyota offers to have an Uber driver deliver you at your home. I figured I'll walk home, and then when my car is ready, I'll tell Toyota to have the Uber driver pick me up and bring me back to the dealership. So I hope they do that. I hope it's not only one directional, unilateral service, like, all right, we're only going to send you home. You have to figure out a way to get back here. Right. Or I think it's one way. You either get a ride home or you get a ride there. I think that's the way it is. I hope it's not we only send you home, right? Anywho, that's a detail that you can forget. I just wanted to share that. So, but I'm just explaining. I decided to walk home. On my walk home, the reason why I'm ranting is because of the things that I saw on my walk home. It was disgusting, okay? You can imagine. Well, you don't have to imagine. I'm going to tell you. I saw human feces and urine, okay, on a sidewalk, on a footpath, not the sidewalk near the street, but the footpath that's nearest to the businesses. So picture it. There's a footpath for the sidewalk, then there's a parking lot, and then near the businesses, there's another footpath, right? So you can just walk down closer to the buildings, closer to the businesses. There was human feces, and then there was urine right there. It was just like, oh man, this is bad. Could it have been a dog and a careless owner? Could it have been dog feces? Okay. I can't say, what it was, but it was disgusting. All right. Maybe it wasn't human feces. Hopefully it wasn't human feces. Maybe it was just a irresponsible dog owner who let their dog shit there and pee. Okay. It was disgusting. It was in the middle of the footpath nearest to the businesses. It wasn't in front of a business, but it was near an entrance to a business. It was just disgusting. Just very bad. Okay. So that was the first thing that I noticed. Then, as I continued, I was going to take Metro, right? Take the Metro. As I'm approaching the Metro station, well, everything was fine, but it was the subtle interactions between people where they're trying to gauge your level of sanity. Oh, is that guy crazy? I can't tell based upon the way he looks. Let me look in his eyes. We've got to do something to judge his level of crazy. I mean, I could see that the person walking towards me was negotiating this this judgment, of me in particular. I felt it was me. I feel it's me because last night I was on the phone with a friend and she told me I need to cut my beard. I look scruffy. It doesn't look, well kept and other things. I look unkempt. And the problem that I have with that is that I love myself. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm comfortable with my own hair, even if it isn't the most manicured and the best stylings. It is my hair. It does what it wants to do at any given time. Yes, I do try to, I daily groom my beard, okay? But if it's too long for someone else's liking it, for their taste, I'm sorry. I'm not here to cater to an aesthetic that you deem acceptable. All right? Okay. Moving on. So, but I had to say that because people are judging me, I mean, we judge each other. People are judgmental, right? Anyhow, As I continued, all right, I think the fan has had enough. I'm going to turn the fan off. Give me 1 second, please. All right, so you can hear me a little bit better now. The fan's off. I'm good. As I'm walking toward the metro, I notice there are puddles of a liquid with an orange, excuse me, a yellow tinge to it. It's urine. I can smell it. And as I'm walking up the stairs, I didn't choose to ride the elevator. I'm walking up the stairs. I'm noticing there are other puddles. These are puddles of urine, not large, excuse me, not puddles and feces like I saw previously, but these are puddles that I have to meander through, navigate around, circumvent, so that I'm not stepping in this stuff. It's just and the smell, ammonia. It's just like, this is filthy. This is disgusting. So anyway, I make it to the platform. And I think I'm safe, right? I think, okay, I'm in the clear. I'm gonna get on the train and head home. Do you know, as I approach the platform, I see buttocks. I see two butts. Okay, one guy whose pants are hanging off of his butt. He's sagging. He has the wherewithal to cover up his buttocks. Okay, but I can clearly see it. His pants are well below his butt. I can see the outline of his butt, and he's rummaging through something. I don't know if he has bags or if he's rummaging through the trash or whatever. But it's like, it's a, what is it? It's an appalling, it's a offensive sight, to be confronted with once I reach the platform after climbing these urinated upon stairs. Okay, now it's not only his buttocks, but then there's this other guy. Who happens to be bent over, picking something up off of the ground. His pants are well below his buttocks, but he doesn't have any underwear on. It's just a big pale buttocks. I'm like, oh, my senses, my eyes are being assaulted with these horrible images. My senses, my olfactory senses are being assaulted by the smells. My eyes, the sights. This is horrendous. All right, now let's go back to, as I was approaching the metro train station. I was walking behind this woman, a woman shorter than I am, just a few feet behind her, but we were going in the same direction. We were going to go use the same service, the same metro public service. And this woman saw me in the reflection of an advertisement window. As she's looking through the window, she can see me just a few steps behind her. She freaks out. I gotta hurry up. He's after me. He's chasing me. I'm like, this is what I surmise was going through her mind when she saw me. Right. Of course, because like my friend said, I look scruffy. I don't look the best. I don't look like a salesman. Okay. Shirt and tie, and to put her at ease. No, I'm comfortable how I'm dressed and what I'm wearing. But she's uncomfortable with my appearance, so much so that she has to quicken her step and grab her purse and move. Oh my gosh, he's after me. No one's after you. She was Latina. She wasn't a white woman. She was Latina. I wanted to say other things, but right now, pinche pendejo. Ay, Dios mío, mama. And so she quickens her step, and I figure, you know what? I think she's headed to the train station just like me. The light is green for pedestrians. She's like hustling to get to the across the street. I figure, hey, she's got a point. Hustle, catch this light. Why wait at this light? This is what I'm thinking. I'll just hustle a little bit too. So I hustle a little bit. This doesn't startle her, okay? This doesn't startle her, but, well, I continue past her. So I move past her, beyond her. So if she thought, oh, he's too close to me, the bad man is too close to me, I passed her up to say, hey, lady, one's thinking about you. Okay? I made it clear. Like, how dare you? How dare you judge me? Okay, and my appearance. But I'm like, you know what? You got to deal with it. It is what it is. So that happened before, right? That happened before. I got on, before my senses were assaulted with the urine on the stairs, but not before the urine and the feces that I saw back at that spot. Okay, so sorry for taking you into a situation and then rewinding and then retelling it. Okay, anyway, so all of these things happened. All of these things were a part of my walk home. Now, I thought about it and I said, man, Japan isn't like this. Japan is not perfect. And in fact, I listened to a TikToker talk about how she's a young woman and she's on the verge of homelessness in Japan. And sad though that is, the general perception that a traveler will get when they go to Japan is that it's a wonderful, clean, peaceful, kind, society. That impression is real. Okay, the cleanliness part is the part that I want to sort of harp upon, that I want to highlight, because in America, boy oh boy, man, just the simple walk, a ride on the metro, and just, it was disgusting. But and then on the metro, this is something I did not mention: the drugged out, slumped over, disheveled, unclean passengers. See, the thing about Japan is cleanliness is of the utmost importance in society. I feel very comfortable walking onto a Japanese metro, subway, train station, whatever, grabbing a handle, sitting down. I don't think twice about it. In Los Angeles, if I step on the metro and sit down, I'm worried I'm going to sit in something. If I grab a bar, a handle, I'm afraid I'm going to touch something. I'm going to, it's disgusting. Utterly disgusting. It's pathetic. It's terrible. It's awful. It's horrendous. Los Angeles, that is. And then to have lived in Japan for a few weeks, to have ridden the trains daily and seen the utmost care taken to their railway systems, and then just to have that experience to juxtapose with this experience in Los Angeles in America, it's just like, this is terrible. This is very terrible. Now, the last thing that I will say as a comparison between Los Angeles and Japan, as I was there just last month in December, as I was walking, yes. Okay, here's a comparison. As I'm walking in Los Angeles, people are noticeably frustrated, okay, because I guess I'm not holding up my end of the bargain. The first indication was that woman who quickened her step when she saw me, a few steps behind her, and she just spooked out by the sight of me. Okay. The second time, as I didn't tell you this before, but I was walking, there was this couple, an older couple, and then the gentleman kind of looked at me as if to say, what are you doing, man? We're walking here. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm walking here too, buddy. Now, I'm not arrogant or rude so as to walk into them and cause them to split as they're a couple. No. I know we have to negotiate this space, each of us. But it was just like, okay, a little bit of entitlement. Like, hey, we're walking here, buddy. You're the one who has to get out of our way. And it's like, I felt that. I felt that. And then the third time I felt something, I was walking. There was a lone woman, and she was walking in the opposite direction as I was. And she looked, and in a split second, just made her judgment of me and then looked away. And in that moment, it was there was a dis-ease, an uneasiness, just a uncoolness about it. She could have. Okay, the reason why it was so uncool is this, because in Japan, going back to Japan, I would see very short Japanese people, very short older Japanese people. And they carried themselves with a confidence, with a singular goal to get wherever they're going without concern for other people, for what other people look like, for what other people are doing. They simply focus on where they're going, and that's it. But in America, these people that I've come across, they have been so keen on the appearance of someone and what they're doing, and that they are visibly frustrated, scared, anxious, all of these things visibly. But in Japan, I saw these short old people walking either by themselves or in groups, just talking, living their lives, casually going about their business with no concern about whomever is crossing their paths. And yeah, there was no ugh, yuck. What is that? Who is it? You know, no. And then if you so happen to run into a Japanese person, there would be a bow, a courtesy of respect between the two individuals. I see you, I see you. We bow, we move around, we navigate around each other courteously, kindly. Oh my gosh. But in Los Angeles, this is utter ridiculousness. And then you hear people talking, they're having their conversations to themselves in their languages. It's utterly offensive to hear and to experience that, because of course they're trying to insulate themselves. They're trying to have they're trying to have a personal conversation. They're trying to keep their culture as is. But American society demands that cultures and people be broken, open, and shared. Right? That's what becoming an American is. Like, anyone can become American. Am I right about that? Am I wrong? I'm trying to make some sense out of this, but really the point that I want to make is that in Japan, problems they certainly have. Although they do have their own problems, and I'm unfamiliar with their problems, I'm ignorant of their problems because I am not Japanese. I do not live in their society. But what I notice in Los Angeles and what I feel, and it's just awful, because being in a public space in Los Angeles is a very stressful very stressful experience. Being in a public place in Japan is not as stressful. It's not as stressful. Yes, there could be hundreds of thousands of people moving about, but the homelessness issue, homeless people, mentally ill people, these people, their presence and isn't as pronounced. Oh gosh. So anyway, I made my way home safely. yesterday a man was shot just 800 feet away from, where I lay my head at night. He was shot. That should just give you an idea of Los Angeles and just like, oh my gosh, what in the world? Now, there are people aren't getting shot 800 feet away from me on a daily basis. There are things that are happening, but just yesterday, that is what happened. All right. You're listening to the IC109 podcast. I'm Larry Wiggs, your host.
You're at 109 right now.
I want to move into what should I do now? You know what? We're going to play the new 10-9 song by none other than Crank Lucas. This is going to be the intermission. And I'm going to get back with the story of yesterday's events and tell you some 10-9 things. So here's Crank Lucas. You're listening to IC109. This is Crank Lucas with the song entitled, I guess it's called IC109. Shout out to Crank Lucas on production. Here we go, y'all. Check it out.
I can see it everywhere I go. I can see it everywhere I go. Is it just me? I don't know, but it's a message from God for sure. Leaving home broke, landing somewhere that's exotic. Your mind starts looking for the meaning in the product. At first it's just numbers, license plates, seat assignments, and clocks. Then you wonder why you keep on finding the same pattern. Could it just be a coincidence, or is this a message from God with no censorship? Traveling the world will have you question what you're taught. The lies from America and if they should be bought. Alone overseas and my thoughts become loudly. The spirit is awakened, third eye is less cloudy. Moses like experiences and intervention. Grief turns memories into symbolism. Nipsey got murdered, and when I heard the sentence being thousands of miles from LA just hit different. Nipsey was like Jesus, and now I finally get it. He ain't died, he completed his mission. I see 10-9. I can see it everywhere I go. I can see it everywhere I go. Everywhere. Is it just me? I don't know, but it's a message from God for sure. I see 10-9. I can see it everywhere I go. I can see it everywhere I go. Everywhere. Is it just me? I don't know, but it's a message from God for sure. Now whether Nipsey was the Messiah or something similar, he didn't need to be to live by Christ-like principles. I could see God in any of his children, but I ain't calling them God, see, cause it's a difference. Romans 10:9 talks salvation through Christ, and I believe God spoke to me that fateful night. And when the Father whispers direction, how will you take it? Humans must decide whether or not they gonna make it. Moses went to the desert confused of his service, and then came back with a purpose, and I did the same. Not every spiritual moment is for fame, and I can feel the confirmation inside the pain. Nip taught people about ownership and discipline. The marathon is about numbers, it's about consistency. The difference between me and the next man legit is the fact I didn't quit. I see 10-9. I can see it everywhere I go. I can see it everywhere I go. Everywhere. Is it just me? I don't know, but it's a message from God for sure. I see 10-9. I can see it everywhere I go. I can see it everywhere I go. Everywhere. Is it just me? I don't know, but it's a message from God for sure.
Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
You're at 109 right now.
That was Crank Lucas with IC109. You're listening to the IC109 podcast, and I'm your host, Larry Wiggs. And I just finished with my rant about Los Angeles uncleanliness, and I think I'm done with that topic. If you get a chance to go to Japan, do it. Enjoy it, okay, and bring back some of those customs and habits, such that your life is improved from your travels and experiences abroad. Okay, I, for one, remove my shoes. I remove my shoes when I'm indoors. I do not have my shoes on right now. It's very Asian. It's a very Asian thing to do, but hey. Bring that culture back, or bring it back from Asia. Bring it to America. What was George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin? What were they doing wearing shoes indoors? What was that all about? Why did they wear shoes indoors? That's the question. That is the question. Here, IC 10-9. Let's ruminate on that, shall we? Just for a moment.
You're at 109 right now.
I want to move in to the direction of recounting what happened yesterday, all right? I'm an Uber driver and I was driving for Uber yesterday. I got some good stories to tell you, right? I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible, okay? So my day actually began around 2 in the morning. I picked someone up. Maybe my day started around 1 in the morning. Well, after midnight, okay? I picked someone up in Beverly Hills. I drove them to Culver City. All right? I made a nice $18 to $20 or something on this trip. Okay, that was beautiful. Then I went to Los Angeles International Airport where by the time I arrived in that vicinity, it was around 2 in the morning. And they were cleaning the lot where the Uber drivers sit and wait. So I had to use the restroom. So I pulled into the lot, jumped out to use the restroom, but then I had to quickly leave. I had to exit the lot as well because they were cleaning that area, which was interesting. It was interesting to know that they come around daily and clean that area. But then let's go back to the Japanese thing. I can't believe that these people, these Uber drivers, are eating food and then they're throwing the trash right outside of their cars. And they're leaving trash strewn all throughout this parking lot. It's disgusting. Oh, let's not even get into how disgusting the bathrooms are. The public bathrooms, they are atrocious. Horrendous. Like, oh man, that is just, ooh, it's amazing. It's amazingly terrible how awful that stuff is. I'm just, ugh, yeah. If I use it, I try not to touch the doors as best I can. I hold things with my feet and I leave the doors open and quickly and I get out. Oh, it's disgusting. I have some hand sanitizer, personal hand sanitizer that I carry with me. Oh man, why is it like that? Man, I so believe even in Japan for taxi drivers, and if there are restrooms for taxi drivers, they keep them very clean. What the heck, America? What the heck? It's disgusting. Okay. Let's move on. So my day started around midnight. We'll start there. I got that ride from Beverly Hills to Culver City, made some $20 or whatever on the ride. Not a lot of money, I understand. Not YouTube, but Uber's robbing their drivers. I'm being robbed. I get it. Shout out to, I don't know his name. What is his name? But he's a YouTuber, and he's very popular for saying Fuber, Uber, and teaching drivers how to convert passengers to earn more. And it's a beautiful thing. What he's doing is excellent. He's a godsend, right? Very good work. He's working for the people. I follow him. He is my guru. All right, Pakistani guy. Excellent content on YouTube. If you go online and you search for a Pakistani guy who gives Uber information, an Uber driver who's of Pakistani descent, and he's giving excellent advice, and he has about 12,000 followers. That's the guy I'm talking about. And Fuber, Fuber, is one of the phrases that he often uses. So, man, his content is just top notch, just top tier. Good stuff. Okay. So anyway, I'm driving for Uber, making this little chump change on these little rides. Beverly Hills to Culver City, drop off. Go to LAX, need to use the restroom. They're cleaning the lot. I enter the lot, use the restroom. I exit the lot, okay? I exit the lot, and I decide I'm not going to stay in that waiting area because it's a little chaotic at that moment. So I drive a little ways away, just a short distance, one block away, and I get like this $18 order. And I'm like, whoa, that's good. I just drove slightly away from this densely populated section with hundreds of drivers, and I got a decent order, 18 bucks. Not too far, not a great distance, something doable, you know? And I thought, man, that was what luck. That was beautiful. So I pick up the woman, lovely family. They were very nice and very very cool. For that hour, that time of the day to have been for to have me pick her up, I thought it was strange because it was like, yeah, it was just too early. And it was a business comfort ride. And I was like, what business person needs to leave their home like between 1 and 2 in the morning? I'm like, they're getting a real early start on their day. And they're not going to the airport for an early flight. No, they were going to into the city. It just didn't add up for me. But I gathered once she got in the car that she was with family and there was a party and she was just hanging out late, but she had to get home. And I was the solution to get her home. So anyway, I got her home. So I made 18 more bucks. So there I'm looking at roughly $50 that I made within, an hour's time. $50 for an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. So I don't know what I had done before. I don't remember, but we're just focusing on yesterday. So from midnight on, okay? So then I went home to rest. It was around 2 in the morning and I was tired. So I just went home and went to sleep. I was very tired and I didn't get up and move about until around 6 p.m., which is when I started driving for Uber yesterday for the second time. I was up early in the morning. I was driving around midnight until I called it a night at 2 a.m. or called it a day at 2 a.m. Went home, went to sleep, slept through the day, and I got up to go drive for Uber around 6 p.m. All right. So I'm driving around the city and I'm mostly moving around Beverly Hills, and I'm getting some lackluster fares, right? So I'm like, man, this sucks. I'm not getting a lot of money. So I decide to move from Beverly Hills to go to the international airport, LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. I drive there. Soon as I pull into the lot, or even before I pull into the lot, I get this order, this fare. This passenger wants to go to San Diego. He's a student at UC San Diego, and the fare comes in for $70. Now, I'm excited because it's a large fare, because I'm getting the fare. I'm getting the offer to take this passenger. As soon as I pull up to Los Angeles International Airport, after an hour or an hour and a half of lackluster orders in Beverly Hills. So I was delighted to get this one. Of course, I wasn't delighted about how far I had to drive, but I said, well, we'll make it work. So I drive him to UC San Diego. The kid's Chinese, and I get him to his destination. As far as I know, he hasn't tipped me, which really sucks, okay? The last time I drove some Chinese students to UCSD was several years ago, and they tipped me quite well. There were two passengers, two of them, but they tipped me quite well, which was nice. But this young kid, this guy was alone, and I haven't received a tip from him. But I got his fare, $70 to drive away to over 100 miles. Yeah, I'm getting burnt. Uber does like a 50-50 sort of a thing. So I imagine he paid like $140 for his trip, and I'm getting 70%. Or excuse me, I'm getting 50. I'm getting less than 50%. I'm getting his $70, right? Anywho, I take him there. I drop him off. From there, I get a couple of orders, and I drive a guy 25 miles back from San Diego back to Los Angeles. He rides with me for about 25 miles. I pick up another $18, $20. He tips me. He gave me a tip. I got it. I got the tip today, right? Because I'm telling you about what happened yesterday. So even though it was a late tip, I still got a tip from him, which was nice. Who knows? The Chinese kid, he might tip me. I don't know. Tipping isn't customary in China. That's why I would presume he's not going to tip me, because I've had Chinese passengers in the past who did not tip me. All right. I did have a most recent I did have some most recent passengers from Shanghai, Chinese passengers, and they tipped me. They were very thoughtful, and they tipped me, and it was a beautiful experience. They were a wonderful, cultured couple. Congratulations on their marriage. They were on sort of a honeymoon, sort of a thing. Beautiful, beautiful experience. All right. Okay. Now, that couple, that Shanghainese couple, that took place on December 24th and 26th. I rode with them a couple of times. I drove them to Las Vegas, actually. I converted them into a passenger, into a private client. So, okay, let me go back and tell that story. I picked them up and drove them to Anaheim for roughly $55. And through the course of the ride, I made arrangements to drive them to Las Vegas for $300 one way. So I made $50 on that trip, and then I converted it into 300. So 350, plus they tipped me like $30. The first trip was about, they gave me like $6 for that first trip, and then they gave me $20 for the long haul. But turning a $50 trip into a $370 trip, or just a $370, income for 1 week, in 1 week, oh, that was beautiful. And they were Chinese. That was awesome. Okay. So back to yesterday. I dropped the kid off UCSD. Then I pick up another guy, drive him 25 miles back to Los Angeles. I get gas and whatnot, and I'm waiting for other orders, and nothing sweet is coming in. So I start driving back to LA, and it's looking like I'm out of luck, because as I'm driving back to LA, I'm not getting any fares. No one wants to ride back to LA, and I'm just like, I've lost money completely on this. I'm going to drive 200 miles for $70. Like, oh, this is terrible. Maybe like $90 at this point, because I did get those two fares, right? The guy who rode 25 miles plus the kid who brought me to San Diego or whatever. So it was 70 plus like 18. So that's 89, about $90, okay? Now, as I'm driving home, I get an order, and it's a beautiful order. It's an order for $70 going back to LA. It was perfect. Only problem was I was like 14 miles away. I had passed the guy. He wanted to be picked up 14 miles back. So I had to double back to pick him up, which was a bummer. But I said, man, if I'm going to eat any miles, I'm going to eat these miles, because I'm going to get that $70 from this dude, and he's going to take me all the way home. So I will have made some money on the way in and on the way out. Of course, Uber's taking 50%. So I might have made 140, but I should have made, 280, like $300 going and coming back. That's what I really should have made, okay? Anywho, so I drive back to pick him up. Very pleasant guy, very nice. We had a wonderful conversation. When he got in my car, he initially thought he was going to go to sleep. He's like, I'm going to put my bags back here. I might fall asleep, whatever. But no, our conversation lasted the whole hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Hour and a half. Back to LA. And it was great. He was, wonderful conversation. Great interaction. It was wonderful. We laughed. We, talked. It was just shared experience. It was wonderful, man. Cool passenger. and I got back to LA. And I wasn't too tired. I had been drinking coffee all the while, so I wasn't tired at all. And that was a beautiful experience. Now, I get back to LA, I drop the guy off, and I'm still, what time was it? 10, 12, 11? I don't know. Whatever time it was. It was maybe 1 in the morning, I guess. I wasn't, you know what, for what, transparency, to be um, precise, I could just look at this Uber app and tell you exactly what time I picked my next passenger up. Let's see what we got here. Let's go into activity. Okay, so it was, all right. So I dropped the guy off around 10. All right, the guy who brought me all the way back from San Diego, I dropped him off around 10:00. Or no, we started the trip around 10:05. So 11:20. Around 11:20, I dropped him off. 21 minutes later, I picked up this young lady at 11:41. Okay, now here's where the story gets juicy, where it gets interesting, all right?
You're at 109 right now.
So there I am. I've dropped off my passenger in Los Angeles. I decide to make my way to LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. Maybe I'll get another passenger who's going in the opposite direction. I'm driving around. And then I get this fare. I get this offer to drive this person to Burbank, Glendale, somewhere over there in the valley somewhere. And it's a nice $30 for like a 20 some odd minute trip. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Let's go. So I go to pick her up. She's not there. She calls me and she's like, I can't get to that location to meet you. And I'm like, all right, take your time. We'll figure this out. It takes 15 minutes for her to get out of the area. She couldn't find an exit. She was all alone. She was in Los Angeles for the very first time. It was just a very stressful, annoying circumstance for her. But luckily, she had me because I was cool, calm, and collected. Cool as a cucumber, and I was ready to help, ready to serve, also ready to get that little $30 from her, right? So I was like, hey, I'll be right here when you figure this sort of things out. So she was quite appreciative, right? She gets in the car, and so I ask her, I'm like, so you're traveling alone? Where you traveling from? You're kind of a free-spirited person, aren't you? You just, and you're positive. And she's like, yep, that sums me up. That's pretty much. So then I ask her, like, what do you know about synchronicities? And what's your philosophy about life? And she's telling me some good things that resonate with me. And I'm like, yeah, you're really cool. I'm like, you're really a special person. Like, wow, that's really cool, right? So at some point through our conversation, she tells me the reason she came to Los Angeles alone and whatever is it's about her determination. It's about her free will. It's about her positive, state of being. She's like, everything will work itself out. So even though, like, in the situation where she was struggling, she was frustrated with not having found my vehicle, her Uber driver, she knew that it was going to work out. She had positive expectations. And there I was receiving, reciprocating that energy, saying to her, we'll work this out. Don't worry. Don't stress about the time. I'll wait. I'll be here waiting for you to get you, where you want to go. Right? Through the course of our conversation, she tells me that one of the reasons why she came out here is because it was her birthday a couple of days ago, and that she wanted to celebrate with her friend who lives in LA. She thought, why not just visit her in LA? And when she said my birthday was a couple of days ago, yesterday was January 11th, so I knew immediately that she was saying that her birthday was January 9th.
You're at 109 right now.
And I said, well, I'll be darned. You are a 109 angel. You're a 109 baby. Now, I didn't just spring that on her and say, oh my gosh, you're 109. Because I was saying to myself, how could this have happened? How could this have been? How did this even happen? My number is 109.
You're at 109 right now.
My YouTube channel, my story, everything is about 109. And Jumani told me. Jumani was the one who reminded me that January 9th is a 109 day. Jumani's my buddy. We go way back. Elementary school, all right? We go back to Pilgrim. We go back, all right? And Jumani said, hey, January 9th is a 109 day. And I said, oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that. I'm so focused on October 9th, my birthday. But January 9th is a 109 day. And 109 is also Heather's birthday. Heather and I met in South Korea. She let me be her roommate when we lived in Oman together. She's always been a big sister and a very kind, fun, spirit, warm and welcoming. And she's a 109 baby, January 9th. I wished her a happy birthday online. Happy birthday, Heather, again. Today is January 12th. It's 12:27 p.m. All right. Anyway, today is a Monday. So 109. So the girl, my passenger, is a 109. She's a 109 baby. Now, of course, I didn't just spring it on her and tell her, "Oh my gosh, you're 109 like me." No, I was just sitting there like, "Are you serious? How did this even happen?" Like, I decided to be patient with this young woman, and she and I get in the car. We're riding together, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna take care of this person. I'm gonna make sure she gets to her destination safely, and I'm gonna make sure that she's good. She's got a friend in Los Angeles. She might know it. She might not know it yet, but she has a friend, and I took care of her, got her home safely, and all that, and But I had no idea that she was a 109, that would be a coincidence. And so I was telling her, I said, listen, I asked you, about synchronicities, because here's the biggest synchronicity. Like I told her, I said, from your perspective, you're saying to yourself, wow, this guy was nice. He waited for me to get in the car to take me where I want to go. She's saying, wow, you're a good guy, good driver, whatever. She's appreciative of my services. I told her, you know what? I am equally appreciative of having you in my car, but for different reasons. And I said, I'm going to tell you, and it's related to synchronicities. She's like, okay, go ahead. So I reach in the back of as I'm driving, I reach in the seat pocket that's right in front of her, because that's where I put my book. My book entitled 109 is there. And I'm like, because 109 is a special number to me, and you're a 109, January 9th, yada, yada, yada. She like flipped out. She was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding? I'm like, no. It was a moment, y'all. It was a moment for both of us. I'm driving, of course. I'm paying attention to the road, but I handed her, I just, tapped, hey, the book is right here. Pull that out. Look at that. And she's like, 109. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, 109 could be October 9th, or it could be January 9th. And you, young lady, are January 9th. You are 109. So that was my day. After dropping her off, I went home because I was like, I'm done. I had already driven 200 plus miles in a 4-hour period. More than 200 miles in a 4-hour period. And I made some decent money. But the one thing that I learned from the experience is you have to strike when the iron is hot with regard to Uber. You can't rest on your laurels. My car is in good condition today. My car will not always be in good condition. I have to identify my goal, financial goal that I want to meet, and I've got to work my tail off. I've got to drive every day, and I've got to drive great distances. Certainly that can be a detriment to me, but it's also going to help me earn a particular amount of money that I want to earn in a short period of time. So I've got to forge ahead. So I've got to strike now while the iron is hot. That's my story. You're listening to the IC 109 podcast. Peace and blessings.
You're at 109 right now.